Alright guys, I know it's been a while since I posted a video. Crazy busy with my new work schedule. No longer working 7 days a week, so that gives me a little bit more time to mess with the car. Several things I've done to it since the last video that you guys have seen. It's winter time here now, so she's put away for the winter. But a couple of things that I did, and no videos on the install or anything like that. The transmission went out on me, and I was just trying to get it back up and running. So I was looking at rebuild kits for this transmission, and with my power goals that I have in mind, I want to try around the 700 horsepower range, and everything I was looking for price wise, and then you got to add in shipping and everything like that. For me to rebuild this, I just went ahead and picked up a Magnum-F. They said that's good for 700 foot-pounds of torque. Talked to the guy who sold me the transmission, and he said that these hold way more than what they're advertised for. So that was my decision with going with the Magnum-F. I think total with the transmission and the slip yoke, it was around $3,500. To get this transmission rebuilt, it was right around $2,700. So a little bit of an increase, but I've heard awesome things about the Magnum-F, so I figured I'd give it a try. It took me a while after I got the transmission to get it fully installed because some of the issues that I've ran into. Obviously this is in a 3rd gen. The whole drivetrain came out of a 2002 Camaro. So little differences. The bell housing, you miss one bolt on the bottom down here that isn't installed on the new one, so that only has 7 bolts in it instead of 8 like off of the old transmission. They actually have like a little inspection plate. Well, actually there's not even a plate, it's just an opening that you can see inside there. So other than that, the transmissions look very similar. Everything plugged right up, bolted right in just fine. The major difference is the output shaft, which is where I had a lot of my problems. This output shaft is a 27 spline, and the new Magnum-F comes with a 31 spline. Now, me not thinking the drivetrain and everything, the slip yoke is actually out of a 700 R4 transmission, which is a little bit longer than the slip yoke I bought. I bought the slip yoke for the 4th gen Camaro or F-body, just the 4th gen F-body in general. And I got the slip yoke for the 4th gen, and when I bolted the drive shaft up in, you needed 3 to, I think he said 3 to 3 1/4. I have it written down somewhere. And that's from the tail housing to the center line of the slip yoke on the universal joint. And I was right at 3 3/4. So I needed the drive shaft lengthened 1/2 inch. That was where we ran into the problem, because all the drive shaft places that I took it to, one had my drive shaft for over a month and never called or let me know what was going on. But apparently aluminum tubing's very difficult to get. I took it to another shop across town, and they basically said the same thing. They tried for a week. They said your best bet's just to go with steel. And I said, well, I just want to get the car running. I want to try out the new transmission, see how, you know, what the difference is. And I just ended up going with the steel one because this is still the 4th gen rear end. And we all know, and I heard stories, this one's been good for me, but they don't last very long or hold up to very much power. So I went ahead and just did the steel one so I could get the transmission broke in, drive it around. That took like 2 months, and it started getting pretty cold up here in Michigan. So I just went ahead and took it on a 1-day cruise, maybe for a couple hours. The new transmission, I mean, like I said, I've only did it a couple hours, but it feels tighter, feels a lot smoother in the shifting. I also have a short throw shifter on it as well. So I don't know, I can't give a good review on it, but so far I'm liking it. I'll have to see what happens this summer. I told the guys that did the drive shaft, they're actually going to be the ones who build the rear end for me. I have a Ford 88 rear end out of a 02 Explorer. I got the Hilti mount there, and I got the 4th gen axle tubes. So basically all they're going to do is cut this axle tube off, weld on the new one, and he's going to give me axles, carrier, and everything I need for this just to be bolt back in underneath the car. But also too, while I'm there, the car is out of fuel pump. So while I'm taking the rear end out, got to pull the fuel tank, and I don't know if I'm just going to go with a single. This is pretty much just a street car, so I'm probably just going to go with a single that can, I've seen on WS6 Project, they had a couple assemblies just bolt right in, so I think I might go that route. Not hard to say right now at this point. I have to get the car jacked up and take the rear end out of it, drop the tank, and then I'm probably going to redo the fuel lines going all the way up to the front too. So hopefully that's my project for the winter time, and I can get that all put in. And the major goal, this car's been NA for 3 or 4 years now, and you know, you just get used to that kind of horsepower, and I think we're just going to go with the Torque Storm supercharger on it, and you know, see what it can make with that on there. And like I said, my goal is probably around 600 wheel horsepower. With a car this light, that's plenty fast enough. It had awesome numbers at the track, a lot of driver errors, mainly on my part, but 8th mile, it didn't do so well, but pretty much after the 8th, it had the mile per hour. I was trapping around 120. So this car could easily go mid 11s, maybe low 11s, hopefully. So that would be my goal. I mean, obviously with the supercharger put on it, and the hopefully the better rear end, you know, I should be able to accomplish that. So just to give you guys a quick update, and thank you guys for watching.